This video is probably different, but with everything going on Roblox, I might as well do something else. So I'm just going to be making a video on uh, seeing if this website can guess my favorite Digimon. But with how many Digimon actually exist, I'll be making separate videos on each of these. So this one will just be focusing on Baby 1 or to anyone else who actually knows more in Training 1. Um, hmm. I really like Hekamon. He's When I saw him in the anime, he was absolutely funny. Mm, I like Yokomon. He's just a little guy. Um, yeah, I think that's really much it for these guys. I really like pt.1. When I first saw him, I was like, this one's just. Mm, I like Yukini Botamon. Mm, you look cool. We have to go with the OG Botamon. There's nothing wrong with him. He's awesome. Leafmon is adorable. I'm not a huge fan of Pionmon. He's got something wrong with that haircut. I like you. Mm, Yurimon, I like this little guy. Probably because I like the Gamamon line. Relymon is cool. I make a lot of jokes about Bombmon. He's not one of my favorites, but just the fact that he exists. Mm, I like Pinimon, Kokomon. Fusomon is cool. No, no one can go wrong with this little guy. Mm, yeah, I like him. I like you. You're one of my favorites. So I'm guessing this is starting to sum up things because um there's not many of them that exist. Which, if I have enough time, I'll probably go with Baby 2 as well after this one. Mm, yeah, these guys are cool. Yeah, it's starting to sum up. Mm, I like these two more. Actually, leave them on as well. Mm, this makes it difficult. I'll go with Kokomon and Punimon. Mm, Gurimon and Leafmon are probably the ones that I like more. I like you. No one can go wrong with this little guy. Um, hmm. I'll go Kekomon. Pokemon too. Greymon. I like that little guy more. Gyarimon, I like him more than Kusamon because I don't really know much about it. I like Kekomon more than Botamon, honestly. Mm, I like you more. This is tough. Mm, uh, I have to go with Gyarimon. I like Gyarimon better. Mm, yeah, it's starting to sum up my favorites. Yeah, I like Kekomon a lot. Now it's going through the ones that I didn't really pick. I like Bombon more. Kuromon, I like you more than that one. I like Leafmon more. I like Botamon more. Mm, actually, I like Botamon more. Kunimon, I like you more. Mm, I like Leafmon more than Kunimon. I like Bomb more than you. I like you. Mm, I like you more. I like you more. Yeah, this is gonna take a little while. I like Kokomon more. I like you more. Most of these I won't be saying their names either because I don't feel like saying their names or I don't want to try to pronounce their names. I like Kokomon more. Yukimi Bodomon, Subomon, Subumon? I'll learn it eventually. And I like you more. I like Hilkamon more because he's adorable. Mm, don't mind me, I might be sick. I like I like you more. Yukimi Bodomon. I like you more. Okay, now it's starting to figure out the ones that you didn't pick much. Mm, Yo, come on. No more than Mm, yeah, these are getting difficult. I mean, I practically picked the ones that I like the most. Yeah, it's certainly starting to get a little more difficult. I mean, I may as well talk about what I've seen on Digimon instead of just sitting in silence while trying to figure out what to pick. I haven't seen practically any of the movies. I don't know if any of you are going to count Adventure Try as the movies, because um, from what I've seen, it's also a show. But whoever wants to count them as movies, then I guess I've seen some Digimon movies. Um, with the first Digimon show I saw, which was just Digimon Adventure, I remembered that growing up. Mainly the Skull Greymon episode. Skull Greymon was just awesome. He was practically my favorite growing up. When I saw Zero Two, it was very interesting. I liked Armored Digivolution. Um it was unique, and basically I liked the change to how they were doing things, because having the same thing happening over and over each show will get a little boring. So I like the change in things. Tamers was one of my favorites. I really liked Guilmon, and Megadramon was very cool. It was very funny as well. I want to know who thinks that Leomon just straight up dies way too many times. Like, I forgot how many times he's actually died in the series, but if someone has the exact number, and then I would be laughing so much, because he's the most iconic, and yet doesn't even show up half the time because of how many times he's died. Uh, when I first saw Frontiers, I was, I did not like it. Just the fact that it seemed a little too much like Power Rangers. I am not a huge fan of Power Rangers. Now, most people who actually know me know that I do not like Power Rangers, Star Wars, Harry Potter, any of that kind of stuff. I like animated series. I'm gonna be coughing a lot. Uh, but I decided to actually go through it, and yes, most of the series that I watched the dub for. So the only ones that I've actually seen the sub for are I'm rewatching Fusions in the sub. I saw At Monsters, and uh, Beat Break is still being watched. Um, but I decided to watch Frontiers just so then I could see what's going on and not be left in the dark. And frankly, it was hilarious. The dub episode names, I don't know if the sub episodes names are different, but those were funny. Um, I have not seen Data Savers ever. I've seen bits and pieces, but I have not seen the full thing. So, if anyone could fill me in on what happens in those, please go ahead. Um, hmm. I think Fusions is next on the list, but I'm not really sure on the order they go in. But with Fusions, I really liked it. Now, I haven't rewatched all the episodes yet, because I don't really remember much of what happens. But to those of you who actually know the sub name, it's Digimon Cross Wars, but the dub was Fusions, and I just go with that. Um, but I really liked it. It's really funny. Editor here, if you couldn't tell already, none of this is scripted. Uh, At Monsters is probably my personal favorite. It is, for the sub, it was hilarious. I really liked it. Um, I was very confused at most points, and I'll probably talk about that later. But it was a really good show. Now I know I missed Ghost Games when listing the ones that I've seen the sub for. Ghost Games was really good. Um, Now, even though it was probably scary, because it's literally called Ghost Games, I found it very cool. The fact that the animation was just very good and all of it. Um, the ending was a little anticlimactic to me, but I still went with it because it was a good show. And now Beat Break, which everyone who knows Beat Break is still in development. Um, I really like Beat Break. The fact that they went with kids going to the digital world and only having very few traumatic times to now having the main character traumatized in the first episode was a giant flip in the switch, but I really like it. Um, hmm. We'll probably be talking about some of my favorite Digimon now, which if you can see at the bottom already, some of them are showing. But there is just a lot of Digimon to the point where I try figuring out everything to know about them. So I made an entire wheel of the Digimon, including the Atmon, because I do count them. Um, they're all really cool. Now, I know I said in a previous video that that Beelzemon, Machine Dramon, or Magendramon that for the sub watchers, and Gulus Gamamon. I like they are my favorites. Until I watched At Monsters, they were. Then I finally found the one that I actually really, really like. But I'll mention that in a different video because, well, it would be better to keep it a surprise. You know what? Screw that. My new favorite is the entire Musimon line. Musimon is just so funny. Um, there's nothing you can go wrong with Musimon because I don't know, he's just funny. When I first learned about At Monsters, I actually was very confused. I didn't think it was a Digimon series at all. But I then had a change of mind once I realized that it is still a Digimon series. I like the crossover where they actually added Agumon into it because, well, I mean, you can't go wrong with the OG. But watching At Monsters, uh, I had a lot of fun. I made a lot of jokes. Now, my biggest concern is, I think episode 3, when Scopemon shows up. You to those of who watched it, you Cameramon and Shotmon uh fuse to create Scopemon. My biggest question is, what happened to Scopemon? Because later, not Scopemon, Shotmon. Because later on, you actually see him again in, I think, episode 23. What on earth happened in that time? Because I'm pretty sure he was just minding his own business, and all of a sudden, bam, Scopemon. But Tsukashimon is also very funny, and I'll be putting up images of each of the Digimon I'm talking about. But he is very funny, and the fact that anytime he showed up, everyone was so confused. It was, it made me laugh a lot. Um, but yeah, I recommend watching At Monsters. I have not seen the dub, so I don't really know much about what they're anything from the dub. But Tubumon's dub name made me laugh. At least what I think is the dub name, because the encyclopedia puts in their dub names, and the translator for me, it's not good. The translation is not good. The translation has a lot of flaws because it's Google translating. Some of them do have their correct subnames, but others, we got issues with others. There's one that I'm not going to mention for obvious reasons, but one of them translated to Children's Day for some reason, which made absolutely no sense. Another translated to sloth, which, one, yes, it looks like a sloth and most likely is a sloth, but I'm 90% sure that's not its name. Um, I can't really think of others, but I'll probably show others, except for one. But all I can say is the one that I'm not going to be mentioning, the translated name. Its name is Damedamon, but it translated to something completely different. And again, to those of you who haven't seen App Monsters, it is an app monster. Um, I'm not quite sure what else to talk about. I'll probably make a video of me playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel so all of you can, any of you who actually watch my videos, can watch me suffer. Because I hate dueling against other people more than anything. Because half the time they're taking so long that I'll just be scrolling on my phone. But if anyone actually does want me to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, then I'll probably just make a poll and see. Mm, now, talking about something else. Mm, I'll probably just talk about my created Digimon or whatever. Uh, so I don't know where to start. I'll start off with um its baby one, or for anyone else, it's in training one. Um, I call it Shoromon. There's nothing really much to go on, just a little blue fuzzball. Can't go wrong with that. Very simple. Um, it's in training two, or it's baby two. I don't really know who actually calls them baby one and baby two, but I'm gonna call them in trainings. Uh, I call it Virimon. Now, it was going to be a different name, but that was until I figured out that the name I wanted to pick was already a existing Digimon. So I decided to Oh, jeez. I decided to do some research to see if there's any other names that I could have picked. And so I went with Verimon. Um, they're both pretty simple. Hmm. The rookie, I went with calling it Sky Biomon. Biomon was one of my favorites, mainly because I like birds. So I decided to create a Biomon that also wasn't Biomon. So I went with Sky Biomon. No, the name for most of them that I created have no meaning whatsoever to me. So the champion level, uh, I call it Zarvrimon. I honestly don't really know where I got that from, but I really like how it turned out. I'll probably, uh, if anyone wants to, you can make art. I don't care. Um, the ultimate, I wanted it to look a little bit like Garudamon, but at the same time, it's not. And I call it Arvromon. Now, for the name, I actually wanted it to sound a little bit like avian, but still make it different. And it turned out pretty well. Then I gave it two separate mega forms. Night Arvromon, which just a fairly simple design. It's basically Arvromon, but you know, a knight. And then Co Arvromon, which is probably my favorite one, probably because I made more art and gave it uh more I guess ability. Basically I designed it to the point where it kinda like with Shoutmon, it can fuse with other Digimon to upgrade itself. It's fairly simple. I like how it looked, and with its name, I decided to have it actually change a bit depending on the Digimon it merged with. So, like, let's say it merged with Machine Dramon. Its name will change to Machine Arbramon. I'm still working out everything, but it's fairly simple. Then my created Appmon, which a lot of you are probably going to be like, oh, well, its evolutions are well, how do I say this? Just don't yell at me in the comments. I don't care. I wanted my created Atmon to seem a little more like Musimon, because Musimon's cool. I like it. So I just decided to name him Playlistomon. Just a playlist Atmon. There's nothing really much to say. Um, Now don't scold me in the comments for how it evolves. Its evolution co-playlistomon. Uh, I decided that the Atmon that's needed with Playlist Online to evolve into co-playlist online, I decided to go with MCmon. Again, don't scold me in the comments. And don't go saying, oh, you chose MCmon because he looks like Musumon. One, yes. Two, it just made sense to me. Then I decided its evolution. Well, let me see. Its evolution is digimon, which, as you can tell, is a DJ. I like music. I listen to music all the time while I'm drawing, or I'm scrolling on Instagram. Art block is an interesting thing. But I'm still trying to think of an actual Atmon to that would make sense to create it. So here are the few that I have an idea could work. Either Consolemon, which honestly I'm not sure about, or Roamon, which kind of makes more sense to me, but at the same time, still thinking. But if anyone actually has an idea on a non-taken Appmon that I could use, uh, please let me know. And then it's God grade, which I'm actually still working out with. I had like now 3 separate designs, and I think I'm going with the newly created one. Now most of them, yeah, they're named after Greek gods, but that doesn't matter to me. I'm mainly just going from, if they're named after gods, I'll name it after a god. Doesn't mean it's going to be a Greek god, mainly because my favorite one was already taken, but I don't really know much about Greek mythology. I only just listen to the epic musical because why not? But I decided to go with a Norse mythology god. Now, if this isn't from Norse mythology, please let me know because I was using Google. I don't do my research on gods. I'm just minding my own business. But I call it Frasiamon, which, if I'm correct, is based off of the Norse god Frasier. There's nothing really to say about it. It's fairly simple and it does not look much about anything as the other god grade Atmon that exists, but I don't care. Okay, now that all of them have been gone through, let's see what it thinks my favorites are in order. Giarimon, yes. Giarimon's probably my personal favorite. I like the Guillemon line. It's really good, really funny. So it makes sense to be there. Curimon, I'd probably swap it out with Kekomon. But other than that, yeah, it makes sense to be here for now. Kekomon, as I said, for Kirimon, just swap them. Relemon, yeah, I think it belongs there. I don't really care much about the Renamon line, but I do still like Relemon. Photomon, it's one of the originals. I like it just the way it is. This image is not really not really a huge fan of this image, but going off of probably encyclopedia designs or whatever. So I still like Photomon. Chicomon, yeah, it makes sense to be here. Leafmon, yeah, it's fine right here. Kunimon, Fusamon, Kokomon, Yomi Botomon. Sorry, Yukami Botomon. Don't know where that came from. Uh, Subumon, Yokomon, Bombmon, Koromon. If I pronounced that wrong, sorry. Let's see. Yeah, I think all of these belong where they are. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this guy. But I think I'll actually save Baby 2 for a different video. So yeah, if there's anything I need to do, and or if I said anything wrong while talking, let me know.